It is an epic showdown. Banks on one side, loan brokers on the other. Who will win? Who is the best? Who is the best for you to be able to get the most money at the best terms for your business? That's exactly what we're about to decode in this training right now. We are going to compare banks. We are going to compare brokers, and we're going to teach you the nitty-gritty you need to know to determine which one is right to get maximum funding for your business. We got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. All right, so let's start right from the beginning. What's the difference between a broker and a banker? Well, a bank, like we're all familiar with, right? These are institutions that basically collect our money from deposits. They invest the money, may get rates or returns, and then they also lend out the money and get returns that way as well. So for the most part, banks are where we're keeping our deposits, where we're keeping our money, and it's also a reliable place oftentimes for us to be able to go get financing as well if we're a pretty well-established business. Now, brokers do, well, none of that stuff. What brokers actually do is work with lenders, and oftentimes tens or even hundreds of different lenders, to have a greater selection of the best sources that could work for you. So the nice thing here is if you deal with a broker, whether you're getting a mortgage or a business loan, they're typically dealing with a lot of different sources. They can look at your individual scenario and find lenders that can actually help lend in your individual scenario. Now, a bank can't do this. If you go to the wrong bank, they're going to deny you and you're going to think you just don't qualify. But the reality is the problem might not have been you at all. It's just you are not a good fit with that bank. A broker can actually better determine if you are a good fit with a bank or not, and only put you with banks that you are the best fit. So typically what you'll see is much higher approval rates through brokers than what you find with bankers, because they have a greater selection of finding the exact lender and loan program that works for you. So who can provide you better funding options? Well, again, if we're having a head-to-head competition, the answer there, again, is brokers. Brokers can typically get you the most funding and get you the best funding options because they have options to choose from. Look, Bank of America might have one type of business loan for you, and they may price it however they price it. But if you go to Bank of America, that's the only loan you're going to get, whatever that loan is, whatever the interest rate or whatever the price of that money is. And if you go to a broker, they can actually shop around. They can go to different banks that will help you and find the one with the best terms for you. The other nice thing that brokers have is they have a volume advantage. So if you go into your bank, you're just one person, and of course they're trying to make you happy, but again, they're not going out of their way to make you happy, because even if they lose your business, they're still going to be okay. But brokers are the lifeblood of a lot of lenders. They're the ones that supply tens or even hundreds of different deals to them every single month. Sometimes they fund millions, 10 millions, or even hundreds of millions of dollars in funding with those actual lenders. So the lenders give them preferential treatment. They give them better rates. They give them better terms because they really need to make them happy, because if they lose one of these, let's say, super brokers that supplies hundreds of millions of dollars in funding to them, that's a massive hit to their bottom line. So typically as a result of this, brokers have more options for you. They can better shop and compare lenders. They can use this volume advantage of using the volume they do to get you better pricing. And they can also do something very unique that we call stacking funding. And what funding stacking ultimately is that because they work with so many different types of lenders and loan programs, they can oftentimes stack different loans together to be able to get you even more money. So you may go into a bank and qualify for 50 grand, and the broker can also get you the same 50 grand, but they can also go to another loan program and another loan program and another loan program through different lenders and get you another 10 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand, and all of a sudden you're getting 110 or 120 in funding from the broker, whereas you only would have got 50,000 from the actual bank. And that's exactly why the best funding options always come from brokers. Now the next question is who can approve you faster? Well, again, on this side, I hate to be biased, but brokers win again. And the reason for this is that typically if you're applying through a small regional bank, they have to process the application, then they have to move it up the chain. It has to go through several different levels of underwriting per se. And this is why SBA loans are notorious for taking many months to actually be able to complete. If you go through a broker, they typically specialize on a lot of expedited programs. So for example, SBA has a loan called SBA Express. A lot of banks don't even offer that program, but a lot of brokers know the banks that do. So there's actually very particular programs that are designed to get you money quickly. Now, there's a lot of alternative lending programs that are out there that can get you money in 24, 72 hours. But even the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars that are offered through SBA-backed banks, for example, can still do it quickly, fitting into these special streamlined programs if they offer them. But again, a lot of banks don't. And a broker knows the one that does. So if your priority is to get money and to get money quickly, you can communicate that with a broker and they can take you to sources that specialize in fast funding. But if you tell the bank that you want to go quickly, they're not going to do anything on their end to actually expedite that funding whatsoever. So if you're looking for the fastest money, typically brokers are going to win in that competition as well. And that brings me to one more question. Who has the most value? Well, this could actually be equal between the two of them, depending on what it is that you value. Meaning banks actually handle your deposits. They have money market accounts, checking accounts, savings accounts, debit cards. There's a lot of things you could do at a bank that you're not going to get done at a broker. And let's be honest, those services are invaluable to a small business. For all of those services, banks are definitely going to be the best option for you. Now, brokers are the best at actually shopping around to get you the most money at the best terms. So when it comes to getting a loan, well, then you typically want to look at a broker first. But when it comes to managing your money, well, then the banks are better there. Now, the exception to this rule is if you have a very well-established relationship with your bank. Look, if I want hundreds of thousands of funding for my business, I can go to my SBA lender and I can literally secure that money in 2 weeks or less. That's because I do multiple SBA loans with my lender. I have a great relationship. I'm a very well-established business. I have a great relationship with that bank. And as a result of that, they really bend over backwards to help me when I go to them. But in most cases, for most small business owners I talk to, a broker is best suited to be able to get you the most money at the best terms. They are the best source to be able to get you money quickly and easily as well. The other nice thing about brokers is that they don't just deal with SBA-backed loans like big banks do. Brokers deal with a lot of alternative lending. And look, that accounts for most money that's taking place and changing hands today. So most money that's changing hands today comes from alternative lenders. It's estimated that like 90% of all funding does. These alternative loan programs are not even offered by big banks. They're offered through online fintech lenders. And brokers do most of the business with those lenders. So they can get you money based on your cash flow or based on your collateral or based on your credit. They can get you money very quickly as well using these alternative lenders. So they have a significantly bigger selection, a bigger arsenal of loan options to help you than what you're ever going to find with a big bank. So which path do you choose? Well, typically a broker is going to be the one that's going to get you the most money at the best terms and help you get started with the right bank. And then after you build that relationship with the bank, then that bank may actually slide in to be one of the easiest and best sources to actually use. But typically, especially in the beginning, when you're really building a relationship with the lender and you need access to the most money at the best terms, brokers overwhelmingly are the best choice for you. So do you want to talk more? Do you want to know all the money you can get right now? Well, check out the link in the description of this training or go to creditsuite.com/consult and do a free finance assessment with our team. On that finance assessment, we'll do a look into your fundability to see how fundable your business is, fix simple things to become more lendable so lenders want to give you more approvals. We'll also come in and talk to you about building business credit, give you tips and tactics to build your business credit, another core component of getting the most money at the best terms for your business. And we'll also talk to you about all the money you can get right now. Look, we talk to a lot of business owners that think there's no way they can qualify for financing. They do a finance assessment with us, and within days, they're actually getting money to start or grow their business. So if you'd like to know all the money you can qualify for, we go over all that at this consult as well. And again, you can check out the link in the description of this training or go to creditsuite.com/consult. Did you get value from this training? If so, make sure you like and subscribe and keep your eye out for our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business.